The cameras were already rolling when the world froze. A hush fell over the grand hall in ancient silence, heavy as stone. She walked in, Catherine, the woman the world never expected to stand beneath a crown. Her eyes, sharp as shattered glass, locked on the throne like it had been waiting for her all along. And then, the diamond glimmered, the Kohinoor, a jewel older than kingdoms, soaked in blood and betrayal, fire and whispers, and now, it was hers. History doesn't ask for permission, she whispered, though no one could hear it but me. The coronation bell tolled, the air was thicker than smoke, heavier than fear. Somewhere deep in that moment the world shifted, you could feel it in your bones. The old power, dying, the new, rising. They say the Kohinoor is cursed, every hand that has claimed it has bled, every king who wore it fell. But Catherine wasn't like them. No, she wasn't here to serve history, she was here to rewrite it. Will you kneel? The priest asked. His voice trembled, not from age but from knowing. From realizing he was placing the most dangerous crown in the world on the head of someone who could burn empires just by speaking. She didn't answer, her silence was louder than 1,000 wars. I remember the crowd that day, faces pale, mouths slightly open. They weren't cheering, they weren't celebrating. They were watching. Watching like animals watch a storm coming over the hills, knowing it's too late to run, and then it happened. The crown touched her head. The Kohinoor caught the light, and for a second the hall felt like it was breathing, alive, waiting. Catherine, where's legendary Kohinoor coronation spark historic power shifting? That's what the headlines screamed the next morning. But headlines can't tell you what I saw in that room. They can't tell you how the air tasted like metal. How you could hear hearts pounding, throats tightening, history creaking under its own weight. She smiled just once. It wasn't joy, it wasn't pride. It was something colder, sharper. It was the look of someone who had waited their whole life for this single breath of power. Do you know what they call the Kohinoor? She asked me later, when the cameras were gone. They call it the mountain of light. But they don't talk about the shadow it casts. Her fingers traced the edge of the jewel like she was touching something alive. They say it brings death. 2 men who wear it, but I'm not a man. Her voice was quiet, but every word was a knife and I believed her. The world loves stories about crowns, about power, about someone who rises from nothing to claim everything. But this wasn't that kind of story. This was darker. This was about what power takes from you, and what you have to become to hold it. Catherine wasn't born into royalty. No silver spoon, no bloodline that sang of thrones. She was forged like iron, like steel through fire, pain, and the kind of loneliness that makes you sharper than fear itself. She used to tell me about the nights she spent staring at broken ceilings, wondering why the world was built for others, never for people like her. Every empire is built on someone else's back, she once said, and one day someone's going to break the spine of the system. That someone was her. It didn't happen overnight. There were whispers first, rumors, a name spoken in rooms where plans were made, in corners of power where shadows ruled. Catherine aimed like a weapon. The old queen's health was fading. The court was splintering, fighting for scraps of control. And in the middle of that chaos, Catherine walked in calm, deliberate, unshaken. She didn't fight for the throne, she claimed it like it had always been hers. People like to think power is about bloodlines or wealth or armies. They're wrong. Power is about presence. It's about walking into a room and making everyone else feel like they're standing in your shadow. And Catherine, she didn't just have presence. She was presence the night before the coronation. I saw her standing alone in the empty hall. The crown was resting on a red velvet pillow, the Kohinoor gleaming like a star. She was staring at it like it was staring back. You know what they say about it, I said, that it's cursed. She didn't look at me, she just smiled faintly. Cursed. Maybe it just knows how to find the wrong hands. Her voice was soft, but it carried like thunder. It's not going to break me. The next day when she walked in front of the world, she looked unstoppable, but I could see the storm inside her, the weight of every eye, every expectation, every secret that crown carried. Catherine's coronation wasn't just a ceremony, it was a declaration, a line drawn in history. The old order, those ancient, withering men in suits and titles looked at her like she was fire, like she was something they couldn't control, and that scared them. Do you know what this means? One of them hissed to me after the ceremony. She's not just wearing a crown, she's wearing their power. The jewel doesn't belong to her, it belongs to us. But that was the problem. The moment Catherine wore the Kohinoor, it no longer belonged to anyone. It belonged to her. That night, the city roared. Some people celebrated, others rioted. Old loyalties cracked like glass. The news channels wouldn't stop playing her face, her calm, unshaken face, as if she were a goddess reborn, or a threat too big to name. And Catherine, she didn't flinch. They'll come for me, she told me. In the quiet of her chambers, they'll try to break me, bury me, twist the story. They'll say I stole it, that I don't deserve it. But I'm not here to be loved, I'm here to lead. Her words cut through the night like a blade.